What's good, YouTube? Welcome to VJ Basketball Takes, and today we're gonna be talking about free agency day 2 and 3 because I missed yesterday. Now, as I'm recording this, it is 1:14 a.m. and it's August 6th. So if anything happens after that, then I couldn't cover it. But right now, I'm gonna be talking about the stuff that happened before this time and date. And the first thing I will be talking about is DeMar DeRozan going to the Bulls, and to me that makes the Bulls automatic a playoff team. And the reason is because you have Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, you have DeMar DeRozan, you have Nikola Vucevic. That's a very good squad. Then you also have Patrick Williams. Everybody can shoot the three other than DeMar DeRozan. But that's okay in my opinion if you have like one guy that can't shoot the three ball because he's surrounded by shooters. Lonzo can play like a catch and shoot shooter. He can set up the offense. He's also a very good defender. You know Zach LaVine, he's a very good scorer. DeMar DeRozan, he's a good playmaker and he's a good scorer. Patrick Williams, a very good 3-and-D young player. Nikola Vucevic, literally one of the best post scorers in the game right now and one of the best stretch bigs in the game right now. So DeMar DeRozan cannot be surrounded by a better team in my opinion. Now, can I predict where they're gonna like end up in the playoffs? No, but I can predict that they're gonna make the playoffs. There's no teams I can't name 6 or 5 better teams than them. At least I can't name that. So I feel like this move of acquiring DeMar DeRozan makes them automatic playoff contenders. The next team I want to be talking about is the LA Lakers. And this offseason, they are arguably like having the best offseason out of all the teams right now. Probably the Bulls can compete for that. But to me, the Lakers are having like almost like the best offseason right now. They're signing so many shooters and they're bringing back their young star in Taylor Horton-Tucker, who was seemingly like the future of the Lakers after like LeBron retired or LeBron stopped playing for the Lakers. Taylor Horton-Tucker is gonna be there. They signed Taylor Horton-Tucker back on a 3-year deal worth $32 million, $10 million each year. But they also signed Malik Monk and they signed Kendrick Nunn. They signed Kendrick Nunn for 2 years and they signed Malik Monk only for 1 year. And they also signed Carmelo Anthony for 1 year. This right here, to me, makes them finals contenders. And there's a lot of people that have been calling them a retirement home. A lot of people that have been saying like, they're just old, you know. They don't have that many young players, but they gotta understand that that's a good thing because they're in a win now mode. They're trying to win a championship now. They're not trying to wait 2 years to win a championship. They're trying to win a championship now. They bring all these veterans to the team for more veteran presence because they're trying to win now. They have Marc Gasol, who won a championship before, LeBron, who won multiple championships before, AD, who recently won a championship, Melo been playing in the league for years. You just have a lot of experience on this team. And you also have some very bright spots on the team in Taylor Horton-Tucker. You still have AD, who's like 28, 27, somewhere around that age. So you have these young players on your team also. And then I like how they addressed the shooting because they had a very lack of shooting before they signed on these players. They had a very lack of shooting. They signed 2 shooters who averaged 40% for the 3-point this year, and a shooter that can create for himself in Kendrick Nunn, who also averaged 30% from the free throw line, not free throw line, but the 3-point line this year, and that's very good also. But yeah, I just think that the Lakers did a very, very, very good job on creating this team. Now, the next one I want to be talking about is the 76ers. Now, if you don't know, I'm a Ben Simmons fan. So I'm not directly a Sixers fan, but I support whatever team he goes to. But this Sixers signing is very, very like iffy. He only signed for 1 year and for a veteran minimum deal, and I assume that he only signed for this like only for 1 year because he's trying to see what it's just gonna lead him to. Like he's trying to see how this role gonna play out because he is coming off the bench behind Joel Embiid, one of the best centers. But we all know Joel Embiid is very, very, very injury prone. literally the last playoff that he just played in. He was injured throughout the whole playoff the whole playoff series through with the Atlanta Hawks. He was injured. They need a backup center that can play very, very good minutes behind Joel Embiid, and that's what they got in Andre Drummond, and they got him on a cheap deal. So I think that this signing is actually good because of how low they got him for, and they only got him for 1 year, so it really wouldn't hurt him. So yeah, I feel like the Sixers did a good job on signing that. Now, another team that I want to talk about is the Utah Jazz signing Rudy Gay, and they also signed Hassan Whiteside, bringing more depth to their team. You know, Hassan Whiteside could come off the bench for Rudy Gobert. They basically have like the same type of play style, rim protection. They bring rim protection, they bring rebounding, and they both can finish a lot. But they also signed Rudy Gay, who's a very phenomenal scorer off the bench, and they signed him for 2 years. And to me, these are two very good signings to add more depth, so that the stars won't play so many minutes. When you watch the Jazz play, they play like a 6 or 7 man rotation, because past 7 man, there's not really like a good amount of players past 7 man, like past Joe Ingles or like past Jordan Clarkson. So these are two very good signings for them, and they only got Rudy Gobert for 2 years for a $12 million deal, basically $6 million each year. And I think they got Hassan Whiteside only for 1 year, but these are two very good signings. Now, I also want to talk about the New York Knicks signing Kemba Walker, and they bought him out from the OKC, and they signed Kemba Walker. That's a very big signing for the New York Knicks because he's another player that can score the ball easily. It seems like the New York Knicks are going for scorers and like shot creators alongside Julius Randle, because as we've seen in that last playoffs, RJ Barrett could have scored a ball. Julius Randle could have scored a ball. When your two biggest scorers on your team during the regular season can't score the ball, it hinders your defense. What I mean by that is when you have very good defense, you have to convert that with not very good, but good offense. When you have very good defense but like poor offense, it's not gonna convert well. Now that they signed Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, and they signed D Rose back, now they have a lot of scoring. So then, even if Julius Randle's having a bad game or RJ Barrett's having a bad game, Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier can take over. To me, that was a very good signing, even though Kemba Walker's not a good facilitator, but he's like the best point guard the Knicks signed in a couple years. Another deal I want to talk about is Victor Oladipo signing with the Miami Heat. Victor Oladipo going to the Miami Heat again to me, it's a pretty decent deal, because we saw how Victor Oladipo played last year with the Heat. He didn't play the best, but he does have an excuse because he was injured a lot during that season. I don't think he even played the playoffs this year because he was injured so much. So he kind of has an excuse. But the fit wise, they don't have that many shooters. They have some, like off the bench, they have some shooters, but it's like, who do you put on the bench? You have Kyle Lowry, Victor, Jimmy, you have PJ Tucker, and you have Bam. They might can put Butler at the power forward position because they need to start a shooter. And I'm not saying PJ Tucker's not a shooter, but he's getting older and he's also not the best at shooting. Literally in the finals, he wasn't shooting the best. So I feel like, and plus they brought back Duncan Robinson on a 5-year or like a 3 years, like something, but it was like a $90 million year. $90 million deal. They brought him back. If you brought him back just not to start him with that much amount of money, that seems kind of weird. So what I think they ideally would do is they would start Kyle Lowry, they would start Duncan at the shooting guard position, or at the small forward position. They perhaps start Victor Oladipo at the shooting guard position, Duncan small forward, Jimmy's a power forward, and Bam's a center. Probably that. But bringing Victor Oladipo back is kind of iffy, depending on how much money you give, because I don't know how much money they gave him. But I feel like that's a pretty decent signing for the Heat. And the last sign I want to talk about is Patty Mills going to the Nets. Patty Mills going to the Nets is very good because the Nets just lost Jeff Green, and Jeff Green brought some depth on the scoring side for the Nets. So when Kyrie or Harden wasn't doing the best, because KD's not always doing the best, but he's like never like really like doing bad. So when those two not doing the best, you have Jeff Green scoring the ball, and he scored the ball in an efficient rate too. So having Patty Mills to back up now is very good. Now that's the last sign I'm going to talk about, but I want to talk about Ben Simmons in the Sixers situation for a brief moment, because Ben Simmons, it's just been reported that Ben Simmons is open to trade or join the Warriors, and I don't see why not. In my opinion, I feel like the fit wouldn't be terrible. For the Warriors, you bring another playmaker. Even though you have two already in Curry and Draymond, you bring another playmaker. You bring a better defender, and he's a guy that he's only 24. He has a lot of potential. So I feel like you bring him in, you can go deeper into the playoffs with his defense and his vision and his IQ. I don't think it'll be the best because he doesn't shoot the ball, but we don't know what he's gonna do the next season. He's an unpredictable player in my opinion. We don't know what he's gonna do the next season. So if he starts shooting the ball next season and he's actually hitting his shots, then it would be a very good fit. But I would like to see him on the Warriors because the Warriors is a very shooting culture. You know, the culture of the Warriors is you shoot the ball. You got Curry and Clay, Jordan Poole. You have many shooters in that team. Draymond will shoot the ball, even though he's not the best shooter, but he still shoots the ball. So I feel like putting him in a shooting culture and put him in a culture that strives to be great, like having like players like Draymond Green in his head the whole time. I feel that would be a great environment for Ben Simmons to actually improve. But other than that, that'll be the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Check my last video on the first day of free agency, and yeah, peace out.